Author SEO, while not a direct ranking factor, is tightly linked to Google's framework called EEAT, which stands for Experience, Expertise, Authoritativeness, and Trustworthiness. It is used to evaluate the quality and credibility of the content. So if you run a blog or you write content online, optimizing your online presence through author SEO can often lead to higher engagement, trust, and rapport with your readers, which indirectly leads to higher rankings and visibility on the search engines. And in this video, we are breaking down everything you need to know about author SEO optimization so that your content shines bright and reaches the right audience. Let's go. Hey, it's Jack from RankMath, the one tool that brings you easy to use SEO and AI tools, and this channel provides you with tips, tricks, and tutorials to grow your search traffic. So if you're new to us, subscribe. Now let's go a little deeper into understanding the significance of author bios. Here's the thing, Google said that author bios or author pages are not direct ranking factors, but author bios can be important within the context of building trust with users, as said by John Mueller of Google, and it helps with rankings in an indirect way. Site visitors who trust your site are more likely to recommend your web page, to trust it, and to return to it if the author bio builds credibility for the content. So as a blogger or content creator, especially when you are in a critical niche or a YMYL niche like medical or finance niches, you should craft your author bio that highlights your expertise, experience, and credibility, which can give your site visitors a peace of mind that they can trust your content. And this trust can lead to better engagement, more recommendations, and higher return visits, which can indirectly improve your SEO performance. And with that, let's get started with optimizing your author bio and SEO. Now, the first thing you should decide is if you should have author archives on your site. They are just like your category pages where they will group all the content you have written on one page. So when you hover over RankMath SEO and visit the titles and meta settings, under the authors tab, you will have the option to enable or disable the author archives. Now, if you enable the author archives, when you visit the users and all users, you will see all the users who are registered on your site with their respective roles. Now, if the author archive setting is enabled in RankMath, for every user, you would have a unique URL or page, which you can view by hovering over the user and clicking on the view button. And this is the author archive page we are talking about. It is your author profile here, and below it are all the contents you have written on the site, just like a category page. And one of the reasons why most bloggers NoIndex single user author page is because most of the time, this page resembles a category page or the blog row of the site. And if you keep this page indexed, it may be deemed as a duplicate or thin content page, which is not good for your overall SEO. We'll talk more about indexing author pages in a while. Now, unless you have useful information about yourself, such as adding your certificates, your credentials, your personal portfolio, and everything that will help users understand you better as an author, then you should have this page on index. Now, keeping the author archive settings enabled will provide you with more control over your user profile. You will see this robots meta box where it will give you indicators whether your profile is optimized or not, and you can control if your author page should be indexed or not. But if you disable the author archives and save changes, firstly on your user profile, you will not see the meta box I've shown you earlier, and your author pages will automatically be set as no index. Plus, as you visit the author archive page, which I've shown you earlier, as you refresh it, you will be redirected to the home page instead to avoid duplicate or thin content. Personally, I prefer to have more control, so I will keep the author archives enabled. And if I want a particular author page to be no index, I can visit the user profile, go to the meta box, and under the advanced tab, I can set this particular author page as no index. It is as simple as that. Alright, now that you have decided to keep the author archive settings enabled, let's talk about if you should or should not index your author archive pages. This question has been debated by lots of professionals, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer. It is subjective. And here are the considerations starting with the point of view of a one-person blogger. As a single user on your site, the general advice is to evaluate the content of your author archive page. If the author page adds unique value and helps reinforce your authority and brand, such as helping with personal branding, indexing might make sense. However, if the page is mostly a duplicate of your blog role and it adds no value, you should consider no indexing the page. For you to note, it is generally common for one man or one woman blog to no index author pages. Now, when it comes to corporate websites, news sites, or other large-scale publications, the decision to index or no index author pages is more complex. Author pages on large sites can play a significant role in establishing authority and credibility. It allows users and search engines to access detailed information about the authors, which can enhance the perceived trustworthiness of the content. This is especially important for YMYL or Your Money Your Life topics, and especially if your authors are recognized experts in their fields. Having their author pages indexed will allow those pages to be served on search engine results page when the author names are being searched. This will help improve the site's search visibility. And inherently, this helps with brand building because it shows that a company employs knowledgeable and credible individuals as their brand ambassadors. And depending on the author's popularity, the indexed author page makes it easier for users to discover articles written by the author, hence improving user experience. Now, reason why large sites or sites with many authors may consider no indexing author pages includes duplicate or thin content concerns. This is similar to personal blog. It really depends on how much emphasis the company puts towards promoting its authors. Also, indexing every author page might not be the best use of crawl budget because there may be hundreds of author pages. Hence, no indexing them can help search engines focus on more important pages, like individual articles. And finally, if you check the Google Analytics and Search Console and discover that author pages are not generating significant traffic, it may be wise to no index them. So now that you know if you should or should not index your author pages, let's talk about optimizing your author bio. Alright, when you visit the user profile, the first section is the author name. This username is created when the profile is initially set up and cannot be changed afterward. Then this will be your first name. For me, it is Jack, and the last name, which is my surname Chow, and then the nickname should be the name you are known for. It could be your pen name or whatever. For example, the author for The Cat in the Hat, his name is Theodore Seuss Giselle, but people know him as Dr. Seuss. You would include the nickname here. Or the author for the Harry Potter series is Joanne Rowling. People know her as J.K. Rowling, and you will add that here as the nickname. For me, it is just Jack Chow. And depending on what you have added in these three fields, you will get to choose how you want your author name to appear on the page. For example, on this blog post, you will see the author name in the meta info. This is as a result of what you have added here. If you decide to change it to something else, and you update the profile, as I go back to the page and refresh it, the new author name will be reflected. Anyway, the next section is the contact information. This will include an email address and the website URL, preferably an email from the same domain and the URL of the site you are on. If you are a guest blogger, then these will be different. Following that, as a RankMath user, you will have these options to add your Twitter or X username without the ad. For example, I have an X account at Mr. Jack Chow, so you would strip the ad and leave just the account name. As for the Facebook profile URL, it will look something like this. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with it. And if you have any other social profiles or author pages from other websites, you can add them here, and the same as schema will be added so that search engines will know your association with the links provided here. For example, I have a LinkedIn account. I will add the profile URL here. If you have a personal YouTube channel, you can add it here. Or if you have a TikTok or Pinterest account, you can add your profile URL here. And check this out, as you update your user profile, go to any post on the site where you are an author, run that page on the Google Reach Results testing tool. Under the article schema, you would see the author schema here, with the same as schema added to the social profile links. So everything is seamless when you use RankMath. Now the next section is where you will describe yourself. You should be writing in a third-person voice as it increases the perceived authority. For example, since this is a BBQ site, assuming that I am a BBQ expert, I would write something like, Jack Chow is a passionate BBQ enthusiast and expert, known for his love of grilling and smoking perfect meats. With years of experience experimenting with different techniques, flavors, and equipment, Jack has mastered the art of BBQ. From slow-cooked briskets to perfectly charred sticks, he shares his expertise through engaging and practical guides, helping both beginners and seasoned grill masters elevate their BBQ game. You want to keep this author bio short and concise, of between 50 to 100 words. It should also include your job title, function, experience if any, and highlight your expertise and tell people why they should trust what you say. Now, if you have troubles coming up with your personal bio, how about having Content AI to write it for you? Hover over RankMath SEO and click on Content AI. These are all the AI tools available for you, but you want to search for personal bio. And here's the tool. As a free RankMath user, you have 750 free credits every month that will allow you to write up to 750 words. Anyway, for the personal information field, you should add details you want your readers to know about you. You can enter your name, what you do such as BBQ enthusiast. You can add where you work if it relates to the site. For example, if I work at a BBQ supplier or grilling company, it makes sense for me to add that company here. This field should contain 400 characters or less. Then the purpose will tell Content AI what this personal bio is for. For example, resume, business website, email, blog author bio, or whatever. And then the personal achievements field should include positive things you want anyone reading to know about you. For example, certified BBQ judge. Add a focus keyword if it makes sense, such as BBQ expert. If you want to add more keywords, hit comma, and a tag will be added for the previous entry. Or if you want to optimize the personal bio with the name of your site, you can add that here. Then add tones that fit your personality. Select a language and let Content AI write an author bio for you. If you are happy with this, you can copy and paste it to this field. Make some adjustments if need be. And finally, your profile picture. For WordPress, you've got to add your profile image through Gravatar. As you visit this link, it will bring you to the Gravatar site where you can create an account. Once you have created your account, you can create a new avatar and upload your profile image here. This email should reflect the same email you have on your author bio for your profile image to show. And check this out. If your author archive page is enabled, when you run this page through the Rich Results testing tool, you will see the Google's author markup, or in other words, the profile page schema markup being added to the page. Don't you think this is cool? Now, one more thing to optimize, which is the author page meta information. So let's say that I want to optimize the page for my personal name. I will add that here, and you will see if your page is optimized or not. And if you want to make changes to the meta information, simply click on Edit Snippet and you can make changes here, so that when someone searches for your name, your search results will look like this. So if you realize RankMath does a lot of background work for you, with simply optimizing your author bio, it will automatically add relevant schema markups so that search engines will know more about the author. First is to visit the author's meta settings by hovering over RankMath SEO, visit the titles and meta tab, select authors. You should be familiar with this already, but let me walk you through each of the settings here. Now, the author base is simply the URL path segment of your author archive URL. If you want this to be something else, such as writer, creator, blogger, or whatever, you would change it here. And then the robots meta option allows you to control if the author archive pages should be set to index or no index by default. If you want your author archive pages to be indexed, there is no reason to restrict any of these other meta tags. Just have this on index. Now, if you want to understand more about the other meta tags such as the no follow, no archive, no snippet, max video preview, etc., we have talked about them in another video. If you want to check it out, the video is right here. You can check out the link in the description as well. Anyway, back to the settings. The author archive title allows you to customize how your author pages will look on the search results page. This is how your author pages will look on the search engines by default. Remember, in your user profile, you have the option to customize the snippet as well. If you make changes to the snippet on the profile page, this will take precedence over the default. But anyway, This name variable will take the author name, this is the separator, and this is the result of the site name variable. This is the pagination. Feel free to customize it such as Jack Chow, BBQ expert at site name. Now, this don't really work, right? Not every author is a BBQ expert, so you can't make this as the default. So maybe another word would be BBQ wordsmith. This sounds better. Next is the author archive description. Now, there is really no reason for you to customize this here because for most instances, each individual author will have their own write-up. So normally I'll leave this blank. Now, this option will display the name, the total number of posts, when an author page from your site is shared on Slack. As simple as that. And this SEO controls option is the meta box you see on the user profile. If you turn this off, you will not see the meta box. Alright, there is one more thing you need to do since your author archive pages is set to be indexed, which is to configure the author sitemap. Sitemaps, as you may know, makes it easier for search engines to discover your pages. And since you wish to index your author archive pages, it makes sense to have them in the sitemap. So what you want to do is to make sure that the sitemap module is toggled on so that as you hover over RankMath SEO, you will see the sitemap settings option. And you want to select authors. Now, if you did not select index in your authors robots meta, you will not see this authors option here. So make sure that you select index. And from here, you can choose to have your author archive pages to be included in your XML sitemap as well as the HTML sitemap. But the key is this, excluding user roles from the sitemap. The thing is, not all users on your website are writers. Some are just email subscribers, customers, or whatever. So you want to exclude them from the author sitemap. Now, one last thing. I recommend that you go through the list of users on your site. And if there is or are a group of users where you do not wish for their author pages to be indexed, you want to visit each of them and mark them as NoIndex. And that's basically it. Alright, having your author pages indexed is one thing, but displaying the author box or having multiple authors on the same article is another story. Alright, this is the author meta and this is the author box. Normally, the author box will appear right at the end of the article. Some WordPress themes have author boxes ready to be used, while some other themes do not have an option to display the author box. I'm speaking with you if you do not have that option. The first thing you want to do is to add a new plugin. Search for co-author, and this is the plugin you want to install. Before that, I want to show you something. You see, on this post, right at the bottom, there is no author box. But as soon as I activate this plugin, let's go back to the page and refresh it, you will see the author box here. And what if you have multiple authors for the same post? Well, all you need to do is to visit the post editor, and right at the bottom of the post settings, you can add authors to it. As you save changes, visit the post, and you will see two author boxes at the bottom of the page. And the thing is, the schema for the second author will automatically be added. Let me show you. Let's right click and view page source. Let's Ctrl A or Command A to select everything and Ctrl C to copy the codes. Go to the Google's Rich Results Testing tool, select the code option and paste the codes here. Now test it. Now visit the article schema, expand it, and you will see this is the first author. And as you scroll down, and this is the schema for the second author. Now, what if you have an author and a reviewer? Let's check it out. All you need to do is to hover over authors and visit the author categories. Now, there is already a reviewer category here, but let's say that we do not want to use this. Let's say that you run a medical blog. The reviewer will be called medical reviewer. This is for the singular name. Let's copy this. And for the plural name, you will add an S. Or if you are in the tech industry, you could have a tech reviewer. But since this is a BBQ site, as an example, I'll just have this as BBQ reviewer. The same goes for this. And now this is important because you want to use this reviewed by schema. So you want to copy this and paste it here. Do not change the letter casing, leave it as it is. And you want to add the author category. Now, since this category is enabled, you want to visit any posts or pages. Let's say this. And as you scroll down to the bottom, let's say that I am the author and RankMath is the BBQ reviewer. You see a new category will open up. As I save changes, let's visit the page. Let's scroll to the bottom, and there are 2 authors here but no differentiation. No worries, let's go back to the back end. Visit the author boxes. This is the default author box. Let's edit it. And right below, you want to select display name and check this show author categories and save changes. Let's visit the page again and refresh it. Now you will see the differentiation. But what about the schema? Let's check it again. Let's copy this code, go to the testing tool, and test it. Now from the article schema, let's expand this. You will see there is 1 author, and then right at the bottom, you will see the reviewed by schema. How cool is that? Of course, you can customize the look and feel of the author boxes, but we will not get into that. Now, the key to improving the expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness is to simply write content that are genuinely helpful. And for sensitive topics like health and finance, you may want to hire someone who is a known expert to review your content. That's unless you are an expert yourself. Other than that, be sure to engage with your audience regularly. Share your content on social media, create YouTube videos, write a book, create a podcast, be a guest writer in renowned blogs related to your niche, and basically try to appear everywhere online to boost your credibility and reputation as an author. And of course, try to outreach for backlinks. We recommend that you check out this video to learn how to do that. The link is in the description as well. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I've covered almost everything you need to know about author SEO, but if you still have any questions, feel free to let us know by leaving a comment down below. And don't forget to smash that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do so because we are all about helping you grow your search traffic. This is Jack from RankMath. I'll see you in the next video.